100% Chelsea. Chelsea 0, Southampton 0. Dominic. It's nice. I'm just basically, because there's nothing to really talk about in the game, I'm just kind of like, oh, was that Ralphie? It was very nice. Very nice. Come on, mate. Smile. Talk to me. What's going on?
I feel broken. What a disgrace. It's an absolute fucking outrage from Chelsea tonight. You and I spoke this afternoon about passion and about soul within that Chelsea side, and there was none. Except from David Luiz, fine. But they're an embarrassment to this club, to its fans, and to the shirt that they put on week in, week out, and they're paid good money to put that shirt on week in, week out. Amen. Right, defence actually wasn't too bad, but there was no point of having a decent defence because Southampton didn't come at us at all. Okay, there were a couple of moments which a little bit of weird did come out, but fine. Understandable. I thought, and this is the first time I've said this all season, and it'll probably be the last, unfortunately. Morata was our best player on the pitch today. There'll be a few people who don't agree. There'll be a few people who don't agree with me.
I will say this. As much as I like to say Morata is like playing with 10 men on the pitch, yep. I thought today, for his standards, which are very low, he did okay, but the key word was for his standards. The best player on the pitch was N'Golo Kante.
Really? Okay, so it wasn't a performance that was going to set the world alight, but I thought he did really well. First half, there was some really lovely link-up play, a few really delicious balls through, one to Willian, which Willian should have done a little bit better with, and actually he stood up. There were a couple of moments where he did go down, but actually he stood up, he shrugged them off.
It was that one candle, that was the quip. Fucking hell, ruined my punchline, Jesus. There was one tackle. It was like a 2 foot. It was a red card, straight through the back of him. He got straight back up.
He did.
It was like a candle in the fucking sun wind tunnel. There you go. There's a punchline. I love that. But I thought it was right.
Look. It was difficult, and it's the same problem that we've had the last couple of weeks. Teams sit back, all 11 men, pretty much the whole game was sat behind the ball for Southampton, stifles all amount of space on the pitch, and there's very little Chelsea can do about it. There's one person who I really want to focus on. Now, the people on Twitter, they love to sit behind their keyboards and write to you after you've been slagging them off, hold on, calling you this, that, and the other because you've said that he's actually not as good as everybody makes out to, and that is our number 5, Jorginho. He's turning into a bit of a fraud. He's turning into an absolute fraud for Chelsea so far in the last few games, and I'll tell you the reason why. Whilst the stats and the glitz and glamour look so sexy, 250 passes in 2 games or something absurdly great, all of those passes are sideways or backwards.
But he put a great ball through to Giroud. It was off fucking side.
They're sideways or backwards. Now, any player who's actually got a bit of football skills within them, if they've got the protection that Jorginho's got from the defence and from N'Golo Kante working around him, anybody can pretty much do that, particularly when teams are just sat back. The majority of those balls are him in the centre circle, just passing it to the left, right, David Luiz, and to Tony Rudiger or back to Kepa. There's no imagination, no creativity, and whilst he may have some really sexy passing stats, your dad actually summarised it perfectly. The stat that really matters, the ones that terms of going forwards, and it was something ridiculous, like out of 530.
There was before the Bournemouth game, so it might change. It might have gone down actually. In terms of passes that actually made it into the box and movements that made it into the box, only 18% of Chelsea's balls with moves of 10 passes or more made it through there.
I think that clearly shows. And whilst the idiots sit behind the Twitter and be able to say, oh, you don't really like Chelsea, he's actually fantastic, that and the other, actually look at yourselves and actually look at the performances he's putting in, because they're not warranting a position in this Chelsea side. They're poor, they're lacklustre, and actually the creativity, not just from Jorginho, but all over the pitch, is shocking. We've got Forest on Saturday, and if we perform in the same, because Forest performed well against Leeds yesterday, beat them 4-2, the league leaders.
It's the FA Cup.
So they're actually got the win behind themselves. They're coming here. They're not going to play differently to any other teams who are playing Chelsea currently. They're going to sit back and then try and take their chances. I think we could get turned over if Chelsea, and hopefully we play a bit of youth. But actually, if we don't get turned over, I can't see us scoring 4, 5, 6 goals. Can you?
Of course not. I can't compare. We're not scoring 1 at the minute. We're barely getting there if we do.
Antonio Conte, we played Brentford and we scored 4 goals. And I thought that was rock bottom. But if you can't, where do we go? It's so fucking annoying.
If you got all of that, I think the perfect summary for this is if you can't cry, smile.
We've got Spurs next week, which is an absolute nightmare. I feel that if Chelsea don't really buck up their ideas, we could be on the end of an absolute hiding. We saw what happened at the end of November, and I feel that whilst, yes, we may be doing a little bit of rotation because it's a lot of fixtures coming up, my God, it's poor.